Today we do not have Group C teams playing, so no Celts, no Orange Rock, Nova Godlike. So those teams are out of here. We do have back the teams that weren't playing yesterday. Yeah, last game, should I say. So let's see what we have, as it is a northern playing path.
Northern does finish a little bit over to the western coast, but that's completely okay. So it is a 6x6 map, so if you have to really, really want to go for Hot-Spin Country, really want to get to Winery, it's definitely possible. Just go for a little bit of a long drop and open your parachute a little bit earlier. But I'm seeing up north on the eastern side, Megastars and also Scarlet going to be taking a little bit of a fight, and Phase 1 Circle up northeast.
Now, this is much more normal because in the last 2 or 3 months that I've been casting PUBG Mobile, I've noticed that about 80% of Vikendi circles have been 40 to 50% on the coastline. I'm not surprised. It is northeast as this fight between Reject and Megastars kicks off in Trevno.
Already one player down. Big L for that one on the side of Megastars. Going to lose a player really quickly. Megastars, you know, not really a big history of taking early game team fights. It's not really their mojo. They don't really like to play around that. So hopefully, and I would expect for Megastars to try and leave the scene because, especially if they haven't looted up properly, because they have the smaller end of this compound over here, I would just say, just move away. You can easily do so. Find a card. There's a few cards that spawn in that location and just look for another compound to call home.
We also have a little bit of early engagement between Team Secret and Team No Chance in Podville, so they did land in the same area in the Vikendi game yesterday. So let's see who wins out that one. And of course, another little bit of a fight going on between Synergy and T1. So pocket fights going on in the early parts of this Sandhawk game, of this Vikendi game, should I say?
I mean, here it is, going to go over to Choco Nuts as we check out apparently a replay. What is it going to be checking out? Oh, we're checking out the Mule Reject Scarlet, as there was a nice jump shot coming out with the Thompson of Ureli, and that allows him to pick up the very first kill onto Megastars in the replay. But now we'll refocus back over to Podvosto slowly but surely with No Chance once again, as you mentioned, Imperium versus Team Secret. Team Secret having one member knocked away. That's going to be Yuhai. Mad Toy on the other edge right there. Checking a little bit of utility. Choco Nuts taking his time with those. But unfortunately, can't go fully guns blazing. But they can hear him on the rooftop. It's just from where is he going to breach this building?
And he doesn't have any helmet. He has level 2 armor. He's a very weak taco nut. But he is on the side of the window, goes for the pre-fire shots, but will not connect. And that has alerted Team Secret the intention of where he is. Will he look to stay around? He has gone off the roof. He's going to get backstabbed by Mad Toy. That's going to be a knock. Oh. That's going to be a pan kill. That is sending a message, and I love to see it.
Reminds me like that meme was like the Shiba just bonk.
Bonk.
But there you go. So No Chance, you know what? Not really too lucky on that early stage. You're going to have to potentially move away from Podvosto. Don't want to mess too much with Team Secret in the early stage. Let's go over to No Mercy. Morph is currently looking for position very high up north in the circle of Phase 1. They're trying to scout out, look for information early on. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, but it was on Miramar, and now we're going to be talking about that on Vikendi. Having different compounds under your control on Vikendi to just look for different opportunities in your game is always a good thing to do, especially if every single one of your members have a car. You can easily just, alternate between all the different buildings under your control.
Now, the thing with this circle on Phase 1 is that even though we know Vikendi to be very compound heavy, there's a lot of high ground that is out in the open on this Phase 1 circle. You're looking to the west of Peshkovo and basically towards the south of Cosmodrome. There's a lot of open high ground that these teams can take control of. But of course, until then, with most of the teams outside the circle, you're going to see those rotation shots coming through.
JXC be like, hell nah, don't want to get involved with this one. Went a little bit too far, and he's swiftly going to make it away. He's only 14 shots. Fortunately, no, the distance is a little bit too much. The drop of the bullet is going to be coming into effect at this stage. So they'll be swiftly getting away from Megastars. But yeah, Megastars so far, we did know, down to now, even 2 members have lost an extra one. Damn, I didn't actually see that. We got Encore and it's actually Vexy still remaining. Hopefully, hopefully, for a fact, they're not going to go for any fights right now. They want to stay put. They want to try and really put some pressure because teams might not know they're 2-man team. So they're just like, okay, we hear team fight us. There might be a 4-man team. We'll be careful.
And that's why they weren't necessarily going for the kill onto Team Morph, right? They were just pushing them back, creating that space for them to survive as long as possible in this game. Now, a team that I'm 100% looking for a massive game from is TSM Entity. They're at the bottom of the standings. They didn't play in the first game. They now have 4 games in a row. Let's see what they can make from it.
Also, we're checking out RRQ Athena on our screen right here. Definitely a team that, in terms of kills, very high up there. RQ Athena, they would have like positions that were really rewarding, especially on that Sunhawk game. They were on the very edge of Paradise Resort. They were just waiting for teams to push out, bam, 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 get all the kills for themselves. RQ Athena, I'm expecting that similar kind of playstyle they did on Sunhawk over here on Vikendi, because on Vikendi, that playstyle can be extremely rewarding.
Yeah, at the end of yesterday, they were one of only 2 teams who had more kill points than placement points.
It was like 28.
Yeah, 28 kill points. So definitely, if they can just match those placement points in today's games, we will see them firmly be up at the top of the standings. But look, like we all know, this is just seeding day, right? You know, it doesn't impact the league. It doesn't impact the Super Weekend final. So really, this is just a ground for teams to become confident, become familiar, and maybe set a little bit of a standard coming into the next couple of weeks.
Also, as an opportunity to install fears in your enemy's eyes. Just like, oh no, these guys in seeding, they were scary. I don't want to fight them anymore, so we're just going to swiftly avoid them. But it's fine. You level up a team that, up and down a little bit yesterday, in the middle of the pack. Hopefully, they'll be able to get some decent performances in. They got some good rotations coming out this time around, as they're going to be very far down south in the circle. Synergy, Team IND going to be around the corner, but they're still... In that location on the eastern coast, there's so many compounds to play with. They could easily find a location to call home.
Yeah, Valdez now looking on the west coast. You have Valdez, you have Box, you have RQ, BTR, King of Gamers. You know, these are all teams that are, well, bar Valdez, these are all teams outside the circle. So the rotation coming out from the likes of U Level Up, Synergy, Team IND have been incredibly strong. So definitely looking forward to see what they can make out of those rotations. We are currently on the side of Team Morph. As a full squad, they were able to wrap around Megastars and get into the high ground, somewhat open-ended position in the center of the circle. This is one of the areas which, like I said, it's out in the open. There's a couple of small buildings, but it's nothing really crazy.
Nah, it is not indeed. A few teams that have to move. You know, you got Bigger Tron, you got Kim Gavis Club, also T1 currently in Hot Spin Contra. But otherwise, most teams should have a lot of easy entry points because most teams are going pretty central. That's why you want to do edge of circle. On the Vikendi, it's pretty hard because you have a lot of space most of the time between all the different compounds. So if you play on the edge, you're not lucky, you don't have a compound currently in circle, you're going to have to take a chance of going straight for a compound that has been overtaken by another team and increases your chances of having to go for breach. And you want to breach as late as possible in the game to avoid your chances of going down early.
Oh, Caleras on the desk mentioned about BTR having the magnetic circle in their favor. They are outside the circle, so before they in any way get that magnet, yeah, they need to at least get into the circle. Of course, as the Blue Zone's closing in a phase 1, they do still have a little bit of a time, but because they are outside the circle, they don't have that much information. A lack of information can put you in a spot of bother. Of course, BTR, reigning world champions, don't know what to do.
You know, if you want to know which 2 maps are the most important in terms of information where you need to gather it, that's Miramar and also this map of Vikendi. Getting information is primordial. If you don't have it, and if you overlook that little part of the game, well, a little part is a big part of your game, is going to be definitely a little bit of an issue, but... Seen also TSM Entity up north in the circle. We can't quite see it just yet. Go check out also the map stream if you are interested. Getting surrounded by currently Morph and Megastars. So hopefully TSM Entity will avoid and stay low to avoid detection just yet.
Now, where Reject are, this Japanese team, on the coastline, the one thing they have in their favor is that they don't have to worry about what's going on behind them, right? They only really have to look in a 180-degree perspective to the left, to the right, and in front of them. So that does give them a little bit of a safety measure, gives them a little bit more freedom and confidence. Of course, we don't know where phase 2 is going to go. They are in the center, at least of the coastline, so they should be pretty safe for the next couple of phases.
Yep. Yudu Gang playing very on the edge of the circle once again. I was about to talk about Team IND as we were looking about them. I'm actually going to be focused on Team IND real quick. They were down south, I mentioned it. They were potentially going to take a fight with, you know, you level up, T1, and Yudu, but they went actually pretty central because they're getting towards Pishkova, and Pishkova's pretty central, so I think the plan on the outskirts of Pishkova is okay, but you say, Imperium, that you don't like it when teams commit fully in the center of a compound, so I think that where Team IND went so far in the south of Pishkova is a pretty decent rotation.
Agree. Yeah, no, totally agree. It's a really viable, valuable area because it's still relatively high ground. If it was on the other side of Peshkovo, they wouldn't really be able to see what's going on to the west. But because it's the south of Peshkovo, it does give them a little bit more sight, a little bit more information, as you do see on your screens where the teams are currently located. So the only team that's still inside the blue zone, the only 2 teams is BTR and King of Gamers Club. As the phase 2 pops up, it centers up quite nicely.
That's a pretty good circle, I'm not going to lie. But I'm surprised by one rotation. I'm going to say I'm not even a fan of that rotation. It's King of Gamers Club. Reason why, they were down south, a little bit over to the western side, down south, and knowing how the playing path went on phase one, you know delay was very northern, a little bit over to the western side. You know a lot of teams can potentially be up north.
Fair.
They did all that time to rotate and potentially punch out the circle where a lot of teams could be localized. I think that's a big risk. It might work out, but I think that's a risky play. It's not going to be worth it on the long run.
I think when you put it you kind of put the variables into play. I definitely agree with you, but at least they do still have a bit of space to come in from the north. It's Team Secret and Team No Chance. The winners of game one, Team No Chance, looking to protect their compound. They only have 2 players up, Godless and Offdels. These are 2 teams that fought in Podvos at the early parts of the game, and now they're fighting once again on the southwestern side of this circle.
Jojo, you're approaching me. The breach of Team Secret will be coming out on the 2 members of No Chance.
Nice.
It is Godless getting absolutely destroyed utterly by the 4 players of Team Secret. We're now off alone. Molly's utility, everything will come out of here. A few nice shots. He's burning his barbecue time, baby. Offdales might burn out pretty soon. He's down to now mid-health. Will not have time to use that first aid. We all know it. They're going to push it. They know they got that damage through with the molly, and here it is. Putting down to now just a few HP remaining, and there you have it. Team Secret shut down No Chance team. That'll be a chicken dinner, followed by last 16th position. Up and down from 100 to 0 really quickly.
Yeah, so definitely poor from Team No Chance overall, but honestly, Team Secret, compared to yesterday, they look more aggressive. They look more synergized. They look just more confident in how they're playing around these engagements, the maps. Really great play coming out from Team Secret.
Yeah, No Chance, a little bit unfortunate on that one, but that's completely okay. Megastars, another team that was down to 2 players, but they're still alive, and they can tell the tale for the time being. Got Sexy Vexy, they got Encore, and I always have to say Sexy Vexy. Like, you can't just call Vexy out and not say the Sexy. If you do, like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? I know, right?
Are you caster, or are you, like...
Exactly.
I don't know.
Like talking about me without mentioning my beautiful beard, you know?
I think I would prefer to not mention it.
Hey, excuse me, Mr. Baguette French person? See?
I'm just jealous of the beard Imperium. You can grow one, I can't.
See how it is. Now, RQ, a team that were on Mount Kresnik, they've actually made their way across to the eastern side, but they are getting put under pressure by Valdis Esports, the team that didn't play the first game. Now they're back with a bang in game 2.
Yeah, Valdis the Murder ending up yesterday in #1 position. Huge game from them, 14 kills. Also on our angle, that was huge stomp from them. Hopefully, they'll get some good Vikendi action over here. And we'll have to keep an eye out also for RQ. Athena, we mentioned it earlier, right? 28 kills so far. They were out on the first game, and now they're coming back into the action on Vikendi. Hopefully it'll be good. But phase 3 circle Imperium, that's going to be our next point of focus. That's 3-2-1 is going to go pretty central, and Peshkova pretty much in the center. We had so far 3 city finishes. Is this going to be the 4th?
It could very well be. Now, of course, you got to take into account that there's still a good 20 to 25% of water in play, so it does shrink that land mass available for these teams. You have the high ground to the west of Peshkovo, you have the low ground to the east of Peshkovo, but either way, I definitely think that's a very clean circle shift on phase 3, because pretty much all the teams bar BTR are inside the circle and just about RQ.
I think that, yeah, because normally Bigatron, they're known for being like dead center most of the time, and this is like one of the first games where we see them actually out of the circle. And I think it's because all the teams are playing on the edge, and they just can't find an entry point.
Vikendi is one of their favorite maps.
It is. Yes, they got chicken dinner yesterday.
Exactly.
Hey. I don't know why I did that.
As expected.
No, just watched too much Jojo. Goddamn. I'm a weeb, guys. I'm so sorry.
At least you haven't said, it's me, Mario.
I won't do that. That's
no, you will.
That's a you thing.
Okay, no problem. As King of Gamers Club, they came in from the north. They found a spot, but they are going up against TSM, and this is their time to shine. But Clutch God gets knocked.
Oh, soup. Making me hungry right there, but he's going to be put pretty low. But at the end, they get TSM Entity Clutch God. Yes. He's shut down. Oh my god, they fly by, but no, TSM Entity. What is going on? Jonathan, Z-God, and also Neo. So you're going to try and make their way back up. The res will come out, but no, the res is actually going to be denied. They're going to take it as now a 3v3 as the res will get absolutely denied on King of Gamers Club side. Here it is, going for the push. TSM Entity shows what he can do in this breach. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be redemption time. Molly to try and buy some time to stop that breach from happening, to give him potentially more time to go for the res on Braga.
Yeah, really great defensive play coming out from this side right now, King of Gamers Club, but TSMNT, we know how dangerous they can be. And Neo with the grenade gets a knock onto Soup.
There you go, some more mollies. Utility getting in response, but still will be turned. And they actually confirmed the kill as the molly. Soup is out of the count. It's barbecue time, baby. He's going to be eliminated down to a proper 3v3 fight. Can't speak there anymore, but that's okay. As Bossa is going to be absolutely shut down by Neo. Jonathan's going to be the one confirming the kill. Now turned into a 3v2. As going to have Braga just chilling on the rooftop. Concept is going to be a little bit lower down, taking the fight versus Neo. Here it is. Going to get the information with Yuzi. Trying to spray, but's got no more bullets. Going to switch over to the G36, but it's not enough. As Z-God will be the one to get the kill. And there you have it. They shut down King of Gamers Club as they get eliminated in 15th position.
What did I say about TSMNT? They needed to come into this day too and prove the doubters. Say what you want. They have amazing support, but at the end of the day, you've got to prove it to yourself. You've got to prove it to everybody else in the lobby that you are here to fight, and that's exactly what TSM have done.
Going to be shifting down south of the circle. We knew that eventually, Biggotron, they had to puncture this circle through the south, and that's going to be versus you level up. I mean, the fight could eventually be avoided, but that car is not in any working condition right there on the top of that wall. Will not be working anymore for them. It is circle. Will he be a Peshkova circle? I mean, we'll have to see. I hope we're going to have like a more normal circle. Well, I say that. There you go. Wow. Cast a curse right there. Peshkova's still going to be easily in the vicinity of this next circle, and it could really be another circle.
Honestly, I'm going to blame Avenger because Avenger mentioned that it's very rare we get urban finishes, but now 2 games in a row, we're nearly getting urban finishes. But either way, as we are getting on these teams down to south and the southeast, having to rotate their way in. Team Secret, RRQ, you do gank BTR, you level up, and Valus all outside the circle.
I'm going to mention, we already casted this circle many times in Pyramid, I think like 3 times in the total on Peshkova finishes. Like, at least I do remember 3 times. And what we want to try and do is get entry point through the eastern side as Jumper of Voodoo Gang going to get destroyed by Luxy. And Luxy, so far the play was, I believe, the higher headshot count.
Yep.
Absolutely insane precision from this guy with the SLR. Trying to hit a few nice shots. If he hits that, that'll be insane. But no, unfortunately, there you go. That other player will be out, and Drax will remain alive in Vikendi.
And here's the thing, that wasn't necessarily an issue from Udo, right? Because they sent one member forward to do a little bit of scout. You don't necessarily expect it, so that was actually a really great play by Udo. They now know not to go far south. They can go more directly into the circle on the edges. BTR and you level up are going to start to clash together. The blue zone moving its way in. Even though it's only phase 4, the damage is going to be a little bit tricky as you level up, getting in the vehicles to try and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, wait, I thought they were going to get into like 3 members in one car. I was like, please just don't do that when you have Biggotron Red Aliens right next to you. And they're just going to move on by. They're going to potentially try and go for the eastern coastal line. I like that. That's safe. Synergy and also Reject Scarlet could have a point of pressure on them if they do go any further, but they're going to play very much on the edge to avoid any extra confrontation.
Well, there is a huge coastal dip that you level up can at least rotate into a further center circle position if they want to, but T1 and Team IND. Team IND impressed, I believe, in my opinion, all of us yesterday and how they performed, especially in the first 2 games. Let's see if they can make it up once again in the second game of day 2 of the opening weekend.
Yeah, because the first game on Erangel, they got in 2nd position with 5 kills, and then the 3rd game that was on Miramar, they got himself in 4th position with 9 kills. Not quite able to get double digits today, well, yesterday, but can they do that today? Circle shift down south, Peshkova's still up there, but if you want to get an actual city finish, it's going to have to be a hard shift up north over to the west, where a few teams could play, but I would say Team IND and T1, especially Team IND, they'd have to try and potentially take a fight versus T1 because you want to play on the edge, and so far they're still very much in the compound.
And this is where the circle shift has favored the disengagement by you level up against BTR, and it's forced BTR to now have to make a choice to drive through the likes of Udo Gank and Team Seeker on the edge of the circle. These engagements are going to get hot and heavy. I feel like the blue zone is going to be the best friend for the teams inside the circle. Will chunk down the teams that are now outside.
But unfortunately, this fight is the Yudu. They have the high ground. Not going to be great for BTR. Microboy will be the first one to get shut down, rising right behind. But they're going to send actually Drax of Yudu coming straight up ahead. And it's good because you have Drax earlier that left the fight and he knew exactly, oh, there's a team over there. Maybe we can catch them out of position later on as they try and sneak their way into the circle. That's a great setup if that was the idea by Yudu Gang.
And then we do see on the kill feed, we have decided Team Morph on the Valdez, a little bit engagement coming through along with RQ joining in on the fun. But right now the focus is Udo Gank against BTR. BTR game 1, they only got 1 point. So will we see a similar bad play or bad game coming out from BTR? Will be able to at least recover
Luxie's like, sorry guys, I can't help you out right now, Ryzen. And Microboy, you'll have to stay a little bit behind. He's going to try and make his way into circle to not get pressured too heavily. And Yudu, I like it. They're responding so well. They're every single time trying to get more and more towards the center of the circle. But Team Secret, Madtoy with the SLR, gets one, gets a second, and he's looking for an insane potential impact on this game onto Yudu. As Yudu actually now pulling off the short end of the stick because Team Secret, they have the true high ground of this fight.
When you don't watch your back at this stage of the game, you are going to get punished, but great play by Team Secret to look to third party. As in the feed, we see TSM eliminating Megastars just like that. The team to go down in 14th spot. 13 teams, 44 players left standing in this game.
I love the little switchery. Like every single time you do, we're trying to just like actually set up a gatekeeping position, but they just got unfortunately backstabbed by Team Secret. Very unfortunate for them. Going to see the circle in 3, 2, 1, a high up north, and it's going to be a nice potential circle on the eastern side of Peshkova. But you have that road in control. That's going to potentially have a huge impact lingering for the entire game.
And the Japanese team of Reject Scarlet, they will have a prime position on the north side of the circle, but plenty of space for the likes of Synergy to move their way in. BTR looking to find their way up. They get eliminated. Sorry, they eliminate Yudu, gank, and more space created for BTR.
They just got revenge, and now Team Secret, they can't take care of Bigatron anymore. Reason why, look at that up there. You got RRQ Athena so far popping off in terms of kills. They're an aggressive team. You do not want to mess with them. You do not want to underestimate them. And it seemed like Team Secret, they saw that circle, like, you know what, this is not worth it. We got the high ground. We can just go on the slope and slowly slide our way into the circle, which is the thing for RRQ.
If I was Team Secret, I'd send one member forward to do scouting and get a little bit of information and go one by one. But because they got the knockdown, let's see if they can make a camp of RRQ coming in head-to-head against T1. Let's see if the three-man team of T1 can hold on and protect themselves against RRQ. 2 members down, leaving D2E left standing.
That small wall able to save them. Oh, that grenade, if it was a little bit more cooked, it could have been absolutely on point to shut down all of RRQ. But here it is, T1, they're going for the push. They're going to try and confirm it. ZZP will confirm 1 extra kill so far. Looking for a good push, but an extra grenade from Missile could be huge. Going to try and chuck it, and that should be the kill. No, checks it too far. Unfortunately, will explode right behind RRQ Athena. They got a bunch more smokes, but I think that other grenade from Missile, this might be the one deciding factor. But unfortunately, just has no idea. Those smokes are really useful.
Nice grenade coming out from Missile. Missiling his way through, taking Beer down to half health. Beer having to use a first aid right now as the revival of RQ to 3 members strong will continue on, as T1 also looking all around and being aware of their surroundings, but Missile gets dropped by Kratos of Team IND.
So ZP and Neon Jung gonna have to take this as a 2-man team. Here it is, RQ Athena going for the push. They're looking to try and increase that kill count. They want a new record, baby, but Beery's gonna confirm every single kill. That's gonna be actually the 1 and 2nd kill so far for them. Very low kill count compared to usual, but RQ gonna go for the double res, and Yeonjun is just chilling. He's tried to avoid detection and hoping that teams are gonna just forget about it.
I feel bad for T1 because they've done a pretty solid job, and the third party from Team IND did not help, but as BTR, now they're closing in. They threw a Molotov, gonna hurt RQ once again. It's gonna be Beer left standing for the RQ side.
Okay, gets 1, gets the second 2. Actually, I believe that's actually a kill confirmed by another team. That's Team ID potentially, but here it is. They're going for the push. Very left alone. Does get 1 nice shutdown, actually, with Team ID actually helping out their situation quite a bit. But here it is now. It was Luxie get absolutely shut down. RQ Athena make it out alive, and they shut down Bigatron Red Aliens in 11th position.
Doozy play coming out from Beer. Keeps RQ alive as Team IND. And Team Morph rage their way up with Valdez Esports taking the blue zone damage. Gets eliminated in the end. Down goes Valdez to murder.
You know what? If you lose one Indonesian team, it's fine. You still got another, and that one is going to be... Well, no, occasionally I take that one back. Yeah, Morph is going to be eliminated in 9th position. 8 teams now remaining in this game. Peshkova will not be in the vicinity of Phase 7 circle. So now Snacks gonna have to be careful with the rest of their team. They're gonna have to move away from this position. They're in the worst position currently, the furthest away from Phase 7 circle.
Yeah, but Team IND, they have a full squad up. They only really have to worry about RQ beside them, although Team Secret down south along with Synergy, U level up, could be clashing together in TSM Entity. Also to the northwest of Team IND, as 420 OP gets knocked.
Barry of RQ Athena is still there, just trying to out-heal against the blue zone, while TSM Entity still raining absolute hell upon these teams. Going to be moving away with his diamond dust. Yeah, damn, that's a
Yep.
sexy skin, I do have to say. But Barry, how many first days did this guy absolutely have? And here it is, going to go for the backstab on Team IND. He goes out there, gets a knockdown, but unfortunately that is all he will get from that one. Damn, Team IND, I thought they were actually going to be going down to a one-man player of RRQ Athena.
It was a matter of here's Johnny, but couldn't make it count in the end. So down they go. Team Secret getting eliminated, losing out that compound fight against Synergy in the end. As Team IND are going to try and hold on as a three-man strong team pushing in on the west side. You have TSM Entity to the north of them, just a little bit along with the last remaining player of Box Gaming. As God goes down, you have Jonathan left standing along with Neo, trying to fight for their lives.
All these teams on the west, TSM Entity, Team IND, Box Gaming, they all have to cross the road too. The Bruiser an issue, but the road is too. And there you have it. That'll be Team IND eliminated. TSM Entity still got a few players remaining. Neo going to be left alone. Can he pull off the res? I don't think so. They're still in the middle of the road. This would be an absolutely insane mission to go for. But Box Gaming still trying to pull off the res heal into the blue zone up north on the western side.
What did I say earlier on about the coastline of you level up? They stayed out of sight, out of mind, and now they're in the top 5.
TSM Entity losing their 2 other players confirmed at 100%. That means Neo can confirm and so focus on himself as Box Gaming get taken out in 5th position. And now down to top 4. You still got you level up with 4-man team. Where's also Reject Scarlet, potentially their very first chicken dinner going into the World League.
Can I also talk about the bounce back from TSM Entity? This is what we know them for. 10 kills so far in this game and they're still fighting.
Still fighting. We know they're not the most consistent team, but when they get some good games, they get some big boy games for sure. But here it is now, slowly going to try and wrap around the eastern side of the circle. It's going to be Reject Scarlet taking a 4v4 fight towards you level up. The first team to get the information, to get that first knockdown, could have an advantage. Austin Box from Synergy just got knocked away. Hopefully the res will come on through. But it is going to have a little bit of a split view as we see the push coming out from both sides.
This is 3 teams fighting for the east coast of the circle. You level up, trying to stave off pressure from 2 teams, Reject Scarlet and Synergy. They've been able to push back and stave off the pressure of Synergy by getting that knockdown. But now they've got to turn their attention and focus onto Reject Scarlet. You can see who's Jan on the left side and that Reject Scarlet player on the right, along with Webb and Yordi, just trying to hold on, waiting for the Blues on the closing, hoping they can find that pixel out of place.
There it is. Ureli, you can see on the bottom right side of your screen, is going to be taking the early spray, but unfortunately they're going to be taking a pretty big hit. Webb's going to be knocked away. Ureli will be still remaining alive, but unfortunately very low, was about 10 to 15 health remaining. But those smokes are denying that fight from happening, really putting a big amount of pressure on even, I would even say, Synergy and TSM Entity, because they are so far potentially going to get shut down by those 2 teams. Whoa.
You level up, are definitely leveling up in this game. Winter got knocked down, but Ted gets dropped like a block of ice. Lee Strider on his own.
Whoa.
TSM go down, we're down to the last 3 teams.
Reject Scarlet still has a 4-man team. They pick up another one. They're up to 8 kills so far. Maybe their first was double digits. We'll have to wait and see. But here it is. They go for the push. You level up. The big point of pressure, the only big issue, and the point of pressure against RCS, potentially taking this chicken dinner, absolutely obliterated in 3rd position. And now it's going to be 1v4. Strider's going to be scattered out. And there you have it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy Imperium. It